Hello, my name is Shadley and welcome back to another episode of Colombian Space Edition Supreme Rule Ultimate. And in previous episode we did go ahead and capture the Mexico City area, I believe. In between the episodes I've played quite a bit forward because conquering from here to, or from there to our current position, there wasn't that much resistance. Like, there of course there was garrisons and all that sort of stuff. Every now and then some artillery concentrations and all that, but nothing particularly big, to be fair. But today we will be going into USA, because there's also this area that we do need to take over at some point, for which we might actually send in some troops to protect the flank over there. So we're going to send these to attack. We do have a bit of a supply problem to get supplies for all of these troops. Like the troops right next to the railway are fine, but anything beyond is kind of a bit of a, well, pickle, I suppose I could say. But let's go ahead and start our attack over here. Also, one thing that I already tried playing a little bit through here, but then the game crashed, which actually doesn't happen all that often. Right, so ground units, and then we'll drop the IF-2s and Stormers. We'll send the tanks and the infantry up to Mexico. We'll probably send them close to the USA border. Okay, so we are moving in. We're going to send these in here to be ready to move in as soon as some troops need to pull back. But the Green Berets are really good at close quarters combat, especially if there's not a massive amount of garrisons, and especially a massive amount of artillery. We've also gotten another tech for the Man of Mars mission, which I don't... Hold on. Yes, Advanced Telemedicine was the one. Interstellar Living Quarters is probably one of the next ones. But for that we need quite a few things actually. So that will take some time. Upgraded defenses is the one, okay. But that's kind of holding us back right now. Right, well let's send in the infantry over. We're going to Edinburgh. Also, how's the situation over here? So they are bombarding us, mostly the infantry there. I think what we can do is we can start attacking on this thing. Because if I remember, yeah, there's only one garrison in there. Should be doable. Then we can send in the infantry over there to start attacking the barracks, because the barracks does have some units there, we know that much. Actually, you can stay back, so that's going to be, what, 5 units going there. We can take 2 of these, for example, to assist there. To have a decent bit of firepower. These will actually keep in reserve for the time being, because they won't have all that much supplies. And speaking of supplies, we already need to start moving some of these around, so they'll get into the combat now. Now the Green Berets are taking some damage there. Also, we do have a Warrior Elite here, but I've noticed that the Warrior Elites aren't actually that great in close quarters combat compared to the Elite Infantry and Green Berets, because, well, they don't have quite as good to attack on close quarters. Other than that, they're fairly decent, but they do take a lot more damage in the city battles, which is kind of not what we want, unfortunately. They've got a little bit of garrisons left there. Oh, and we did lose a unit. Oh, right, well, I'll pull you back, and I'm going to send in 2 extras in there. That should keep you at 7, yes. Suppose I could send in some tanks over there already. Across the bridge. And over there. Should make life a little bit easier. We've also got some artillery over here, so we do have some fire support at least. You could probably get over there. As soon as you run out of supplies, we'll send in the infantry instead. Because you'll take relatively little damage from them. You can stay there for a little bit at least. Keep the enemies busy. Right, well, we've entered USA now. Barely, but we have entered there. Now, I believe there might be... Oh, okay, you're spreading out a little bit. Let's send the Warrior Elite to Torreon as well. But yes, because there's a barracks, there's going to be some units still in there, but I think we can destroy them relatively quickly. Without too many problems, anyway. Technically, we could send in tanks from this side to aid with the assault. So from the south, so we don't need to fight the garrison in Gomez Palacio quite yet. So we're about to get the Banshee design, which is going to be quite useful, because we've got 2 units already in there. There's still a tank and then there's some artillery. But the artilleries are gone, and now we've got the infantry in there. We can do our combat in that area. These units are still rather low on supply, so I can't really use them, which is a bit unfortunate. Now, in terms of economy, the economy is slowly recovering. I've had to increase the tax rate a little bit, just to have a steady flow of income. It's mostly sales taxes, I believe, right now. Yeah, the small businesses don't have basically any tax at all, where sales tax is giving us 300 million per day, so that's not too bad. I believe that's actually the... yeah, that's the most profitable tax that we have right now. Of course, it is the highest tax as well. But the economy is kind of going up and down. We are actually selling a little bit of industrial goods and military goods right now. So we're kind of getting some money through there, and that is increasing the employment rate to a small degree. Alright, so that bit of green berets, where do we have our closest barracks? It's all the way there. Okay, we've got some of the mechanized units. The mechanized units aren't that great, I've noticed. Like, they can fight for a while, but they also take quite a bit of damage because they are soft targets. So they're kind of good against flanking enemy artillery a little bit, but even then they'll get potentially destroyed rather easily. Oh, we did actually capture that, good. Let's send in some troops to defend that. I think you can repair there, you can go and repair as well. We can send in the infantry around there, protect that city, and eventually we do need to attack to our further north over there. Let's send in some infantry over here, and then let's take a look at the situation here. Also, the situation over here, I did capture Bangkok area, but the enemy has a lot of AA guns there. And is there... there's a village there, okay. Now we do have some tanks here that we could be utilizing for flanking mission. Also, if... oh, right, yeah. I already did this once, but since the game crashed, kind of lost that gameplay, although I wasn't recording, so technically not much was lost. But yes, there's a lot of artillery in here that we can destroy with the infantry. We get some nice kills there. Also taking a fair bit of damage, unfortunately, but... yeah, those are being pushed back. Now you can probably return to the village. Also, we should probably repair this one. I have a feeling that that will be required. Okay, let's bring the tanks there. We can probably start destroying more and more of those. I mean, every now and then they're sending 1 or 2 units through. I mean, these are AA guns, so that's not too bad of a situation. Or rather, at least it could be a lot worse. Because they got some AA and artillery over there. We can actually move you forward. Move you a little bit forward. Now, the infantry can move in there. And start sending the tanks up ahead. To get a little bit of idea of what's in there. I've also got a few extra tanks here. Move them about that way. Okay, the infantry is doing fine. I think we may want to... well, there is a barracks going to be over there, but getting up there may take some time. We'll need to let the supply spread, I reckon. Okay, we got the Advanced Naval Navigation and the Banshees. Okay. So Naval Navigation, did that unlock anything new? So the human cloning and neural reprogramming are both opposed by the population, so I'm kind of avoiding taking those. And there's bipedal vehicle prototypes, which is quite a bit ahead of time, and it's rather expensive. It would eventually lead to mechs, but at the same time it's going to require quite a few things to actually get those up and running. And yeah, it's just not necessarily very good. Oh, right, it's not necessarily good use of our money right now, because our economy is still quite fragile. Oh, you need to pull back. Can you even get up out of there before... well, I suppose now that the garrisons are dying, we should be fine. There we go. Also, I can hear some shooting from somewhere. Might be here. At least that was one of the places where I was hearing the stuff from. Right, and we have a conga line of tanks going through here. That's good. And we also do have some of the infantry up here, kind of ready to do a landing over there, but it's going to be very expensive because there's 7 garrisons plus 7 units on there and another 7 units in here. It's really expensive to do the landing there. Would need a massive strike force, which we unfortunately do not really have. We've got some artillery here. Did I stop producing units here? I did. But we got a lot of the artillery. We can probably move them closer to the front lines. 4 garrisons there. They might be trying to outflank us. So I'm going to send in a couple of these to protect that flank. And then some units from here to protect there. Just to prevent them from going through. Oh, they're sending the infantry into the city, which we cleaned up, but we didn't actually capture. I have to send some of the troops to be repaired, and I'll leave a couple of units defending the crossing here, just in case. What I could do, though, is I could bring in my artillery a few steps closer. And actually, I wonder, we'll probably go and capture that. And from here about, we can then kind of defend the almost the entire flank, can't we? Domestic price of petroleum still too high? Well, I believe you. I'm not going to do anything about it. There we go, we've destroyed that one. Okay, so over here we should be able to defend, or stop them from going through. I mean, technically, if they go through here, they'll... Oh, one of these 2 provinces and then gets into the middle, they might be able to slip past. I suppose I could send someone in there to protect that in the meanwhile. Okay, that's actually quite a few garrisons there. 6. Oh boy, we'll need to do a few attacks to get through that. Advanced tank designs are not that far away. Let's see, we can probably move these troops a little bit further again. And I suppose we could move in the artillery group here. We've got 2 mechanized units. Oh, that's a gun over there. And we captured a spy from the United States. Good. Right, we have a bit of a dilemma. I mean, I think we are getting the reinforcements soon enough. I'm assuming, yep, the conga line is already approaching over here. So, past quite a mile out almost. Okay, infantry, go ahead and attack Brownsville. And then I think it's time for us to start attacking the Kingswell over here as well. As soon as we destroy the garrison there, we can then move in the artillery closer to be sure that they can actually reach there. And I have taken most of the Yucatan. There's still a little bit in there that we'll need to capture, but not too much, fortunately. We managed to get a little bit of supplies in here, but it's just not massive amounts. Okay, that unit needs to pull back. Hopefully it can actually pull back before it's destroyed. You probably want to pull back already as well. The rest of those might be fine because there's now down to 3 garrisons, so we'll destroy half of them. We've not lost a single unit yet in this particular combat anyway. I'll send these 2 to entrench there. We can send the other 2 to help. I mean, I suppose once we capture this, we're going to send in the infantry up north to attack Kingswell and then Corpus Christi and all that. We're going to use the tanks as a bit of distraction. World market opinion is now 8.3%, so it's still pretty bad. It's slowly improving. Also, let's have a look. So we're still making almost, actually, over 1,000 per ton of military goods. Of course, I'm not entirely sure if it factors into the cost, or the production cost, or the cost of the resources. Because technically it might be, like, we might get slightly more money from just selling the raw resources. right now, especially in the case of industrial goods, but I'm still crafting it, oh, not crafting, manufacturing a bit more industrial goods than we actually need. You know what, I'm gonna increase the output of military goods to 50%. That's gonna be quite a bit extra, but at the same time I think that's gonna be quite useful for our total income. Or at least it will increase the employment, and then that way it will certainly improve a lot of things. Now I suppose we could start attacking this area here. We do have the infantry to assist in that. There's composite ore there, I see. If I remember correctly, that was just something that gives you metal ore basically, but without... or from electricity, so you don't necessarily need to put it on a source. You can just put it in a city. Or any, well, anything about military complex, I suppose. Okay, there's 3 garrisons. I think we can beat that without too many issues. Also, let's go ahead and start advancing north with these troops. Hold on, so you go in there, you could be up there. That one needs to pull back. Also, let's take a look at the... Oh, right, they don't have supplies in there. Also, I think I heard something be destroyed. I have a feeling that it might be here. Oh, yeah, there's a lot of bombardment going on in here. Also destroying quite a few of them, but... I think we're mostly okay. Do we have more troops here? We do have another tank, so we can send that up north. Down that way, and then over here. Let's go ahead and attack there. That shouldn't be too big of an issue. Oh! Hello. Let's go and destroy that, then we can go and destroy the tank destroyer up there in the north. Or in the northern pocket. Oh, and they have another pocket in here. We do have garrison in there. So technically we should be fine. We captured a supply from China, which doesn't really surprise me. Okay, we are actually losing a bit more money right now. It might just be that we are... I am gonna lower the capacity of these to like 40%. It's just not quite that much profit for what it takes to produce them. Alright, we could probably send you back there, so at least you can stay in the city. Right, and then let's get the artillery over there. Once the artillery is in place and the infantry is in place, we will attack Kingswell, and then we'll go towards Corpus Christi. And then next is probably San Antonio, then Austin, and Houston. I think it might actually be better for us to try to get to New Orleans and then get towards Washington DC. They got a tank over there. Oh right, they pushed the mechanized units back, didn't they? Probably. Oh well. Because they're trying to attack there. The artillery is slowly arriving, and there we go. Our tanks have arrived. Let's bring them in. It's going to be quite a spearhead. Okay, and now that we're producing a bit less of the industrial goods, we made more money, but that might just be because we sold something that the price had dropped below certain levels. I'm just going to make a quick check in case there is indeed something like that. Most of the prices or minimum prices that we have are perfectly fine. I mean, ooh, hello. Okay, yeah, we can lower the uranium cell price quite a bit. It goes to $30 right now. 29. Alright, then let's take some of the tanks here. We can use them to flank from the north. The infantry is ready to move in from here, I reckon. Is that... That is plain, so we can attack from there as well. We'll just wait for the troops to get a little bit closer first. So we can combine these into another group of 7. We can get 3 from here. And 4 from here. So yes, we have quite a selection of troops, that's for sure. Okay, infantry, move in. Once we get a little bit closer, we'll send the tanks. Just like in the old times. But with this much firepower, I don't think those garrisons have much hope in this combat. Now, to be fair, since I've advanced fairly slowly, the USA has pretty high military approval ratings still. So this is going to take quite some time before we can actually capture everything. Okay, there's a new counter-offensive, but that's not going to do much by the looks of it. Let's combine you two into a group and send in some of these tanks over there, while these kind of rest and resupply. So Corpus Christi will try to take you with some nice frontal assault with tanks, because that should work, right? Right, you go there and you go there. That is quite a big garrison, so we'll probably need to shuffle some troops in and out. We'll get you closer. Some of these are actually taking some damage, but not too much. Not too much. Because if these guys are now out of supplies, basically, I'll pull you back, send you in. You're still out of supplies. Let's pull you back, I reckon. Get you in there, but yeah, the supply situation is a bit bad. On the other hand, since we've now destroyed most of that, I suppose we could pull back all the troops there and then just take the infantry for another assault there. So we've weakened them a little bit at least, and we should have the artillery reach into the... Well, actually, I'm not entirely sure if we do. Might be a bit too far away. Well, let's get the infantry... Oh, not the infantry, the artillery a little bit closer, while the infantry is also trying to move in. Because the infantry is not very quick. Also, we have a massive amount of tanks right now there. Alright then. Yeah, you can probably combine with that. Have at least a little bit of tanks protecting that. Okay, the infantry took quite a bit of damage from the first fighting, so you need to pull back. The remaining garrisons will fall, I reckon. Okay, well, let me pull back these tanks from here, because they're kind of blocking the road. Which is less than optimal. Okay, more infantry needs to pull back. Corpus Christi is soon ours. We need to resupply really on the on the tanks, and then we're gonna start taking some of the oil. Oh, right, yeah, there's a lot of oil in here. Also, there's some uranium there. I do wonder if we have a look at the petroleum in terms of production. USA does outproduce me, not by a massive margin, but by a margin nonetheless, and they don't have quite as much demand for it either. Interesting. Now that could be because they have less industry that use oil. I mean, for example, for us, military could use quite a bit, actually. Consumer goods use a little bit. Of course, then there's also the civilian demand, which is quite massive. And our population is about twice what they have. So that certainly does have an effect. Okay, there we go. We captured that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Get you out there. So we can take out the first set of oil fields now. And we can start getting the supplies in here, which would be quite handy. You start guarding the road there. Well, at least these industrial complexes are quite easy to capture. And one by one, we shall take over the oil fields. Well, out USA to USA. Now, that's Narrow River, so that's all Narrow River. What we can do is we can attack from these two. We're slowly getting some of the infantry over here as well. Well, at least we got some replacements then. Plus these two can be sent over there. Ah, they got some mortars over there. Let's go and destroy them. There we go. Now we'll just guard the railway for the time being. But it would appear that we are actually out of time for this episode, so if you enjoyed this, please like, comment, subscribe if you haven't already. Also check out the links down below in the description, but other than that, thank you very much for watching, and until next time, bye bye.